اوكي. آه، النيوتراليزيشن is a reaction, is a specific reaction. يعني بيبقى this reaction is between acids and bases, and we talked about acids and bases last time briefly. We said that يعني for simplicity يعني we can say that in any compound with an H in the left side is an acid. صح كده؟
صح.
And any compound with an OH at the right is a base.
Mm-hmm.
طبعا this is a very short-handed definition of acids and bases. A very simple definition, but يعني it deserves يعني more than this. ولكن let's start with this definition. يعني any acid, any compound with an H inside at the left side is an acid. خلاص. And any compound with an OH in the right side is considered a base. Why is this an acid and this a base? Because water uh, water has the ability to hydrolyze substances. Hydrolysis means that to put something in water and this thing will break down. يعني if you put NaCl in the water will break down a salt into Na و Cl ions away from each other. This is called hydrolysis. تمام؟
Okay.
This is called hydrolysis. You know, hydro يبقى something related to water.
Oh yeah, I also take biology, so I know about hydrolysis,
طب ممتاز قوي.
condensation reaction, all that, yeah.
حلو. Water itself يعني الwater is يعني we can say that ان الwater hydrolyze itself او it is self hydrolyzed to give a very small portion of H plus ions and OH minus ions in a very small portion. يعني الwater has the effect to hydrolyze itself. So يعني ايه? But when these particles of water or molecules of water are hydrolyzed, they are in a balance. They have the same concentrations because each mole of H2O you break down into H plus and OH minus, you will find الايه؟ ان ال 1 mole of H2O will break down into 1 mole of H plus and 1 mole of OH minus.
Right.
خلاص؟
خلاص.
The presence of hydrogen ions in the water is responsible for the acidity. والpresence of OH ions in the water is responsible for the basicity. And the acidity and the basicity are responsible for many chemical and sometimes physical properties
Oh, you're
of the
lagging
water.
for me. I can't hear what you're saying.
I'm lagging. طيب.
Oh yeah.
I'll try to do something. I hope this will make the connection better. Okay, I will close الفيديو كمان.
Sorry?
I will close the camera and I will use an extension. So I'll try to make it better يعني.
Oh, okay.
Am I lagging now?
Oh no, you're good.
طيب حلو تمام. نكمل كلامنا. بنقول ايه بقى؟ الووترز يعني a small portion of water is hydrolyzed into hydrogen ions و OH ions. Okay? الهيدروجين ions is responsible for what is called the acidity, and the acidity يعني acidity can affect some chemical properties and some physical properties of the water. and the OH is
Okay.
responsible for البيزيسيتي, and البيزيسيتي will make السولوشن بتاعي has certain physical and certain chemical properties. فمثلا we can say that ان الاسيد has a sour taste. Okay, an acid has a corrosive effect on its tissues. A base has a bitter taste, and a base has uh, a soapy feeling أو slippery feeling. Okay, الأcids do some certain type of reactions, والbases do certain types of reactions. Okay, الأcids and bases are responsible for what is called the pH of a substance, which is a scale that measures the degree of acidity and the basicity of any solution. Clear?
Yeah.
طيب, water is neutral. Water is a neutral liquid. Why? Because the hydrogen ions will always be equal للhydroxide ions in the water.
Right.
تمام? But this is not the
Yeah.
case because we have no pure water on earth. يعني water have many ions, many minerals, many salts, many impurities dissolving in the water, so it will not make it neutral unless you evaporate the water, then condensing the water after collection. This is what is called the distilled water. You know distilled water?
Distilled water.
Using a distilled water in some type in some experiments in biology and chemistry. What is distilled water بقى?
Clean water.
Not clean. Water that was boiled and collected and condensed once again.
Oh, okay.
So we are now sure that water does not contain any soluble substances inside it. This is called the distilled water. تمام? If you
تمام.
try to test the distilled water, is it acidic or basic, you will find it neutral. Almost neutral يعني. But in many cases بقى يعني الرين water, الwater of the rivers, الwater of the oceans and the seas, any sample of the water that you will collect from any يعني water body around you, you will find the sample either acidic or basic. Sometimes slightly acidic, sometimes slightly basic. خلاص؟ يعني ايه many factors affecting the pH of water. طيب, why am I saying this introduction يعني to know that in خلاص if you put anything in water مثلا you have the water اهو H plus ال OH and you put ال HCl gas, you cannot say ال HCl gas, you cannot say this is hydrochloric acid. This is called hydrogen chloride gas. We say we can name it الاسيد after a dissolving in the water. طيب, الاسيد او ال HCl gas sorry will dissolve in water, so it will hydrolyze to give a, what do you think ال HCl would give?
It will make it more acidic because there's an H
ايوه
in.
لا ال HCl ذات نفسها لما نعمل when we break down ال HCl it will give
Oh,
H
HCl.
and Cl, صح كده؟ طيب, this means ايه بقى؟ in now I can say for a solution of ال HCl dissolved in the water that the hydrogen ion concentration now is larger than the hydroxide ion concentration. That's why anything with an H at the left we call it an acid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, طب as for البيزز بقى, I have a water sample اهو H plus OH, and if I put مثلا ال NaOH, it will break down into Na and the OH. This will make the concentration of the OH is bigger than the concentration of the H. So I name the solution of the NaOH inside the water, dissolved in the water. I can call it a basic solution.
Mhm.
Okay?
Okay.
طيب. Now النيوتراليزيشن reactions is the reactions of acids plus bases. Acids will react with bases to give salt and water. طبعا انا بتكلم على salt solutions. يعني مثلا
Mm-hmm.
if I'm dealing with مثلا NaOH plus HCl, this is an aqueous solution and this is an aqueous solution. It will give me ايه بقى؟ NaCl plus H2O. This is a liquid. This cannot be a solid طبعا، ما ينفعش، مش هينفع، مش كده؟ So it will be
Yeah.
a sodium chloride solution. I can get the solid sodium chloride by evaporating the water. مفيش مشكلة. This is called a neutralization reaction. يبقى neutralization reaction is the reaction of an acid
Mm-hmm.
with a base to give salt and water. طيب, if I want to know the concentration of an acid using a base or of a base using an acid, I will use a neutralization reaction. But the process itself, the experiment itself is called the titration. And you know the titration بقى. اللي هي البيوريت. Okay, والconical flask under it and pouring.
Could you repeat that? Sorry, you're
I'm lagging برضو.
yeah.
يا ربي يا ربي أصلح شأننا يا رب.
Mm.
Is this better?
Yeah.
يا رب يسر. طيب, يبقى neutralization reaction is the reaction. Okay? But the
Mm-hmm.
process of using acid to find the concentration of base أو using base to find the concentration of acid is called the titration. تمام؟
Mm-hmm.
طيب,
Yeah.
تعالي بقى للمسألة itself, للبروبلم itself بقى بيقول إيه؟ A 25 centimeter cube solution of sulfuric acid is completely neutralized by 50 centimeter cube of a 0.3 mole per decimeter cube sodium hydroxide. Calculate the concentration of a sulfuric acid solution in mole per decimeter cube.
Okay.
Let me say first
So,
in most of the time he will give you a di basic acid with a monohydric base, or the opposite. What is meant by dibasic acid? What is meant by monohydric base? A dibasic acid is an acid with two H's.
mm-hmm.
يعني ال HCl is called a monobasic acid. وال H2SO4 is called a dibasic acid. Okay? طب as for
Okay.
ال OHs, ال 1 OH in the compound يبقى ال compound ده is called monohydric. Okay?
So that had one H.
Huh?
So it has one H.
So it has one OH. If I say monohydric, this means that it has one OH.
Oh, okay.
If I say dihydric, like the calcium hydroxide,
Mm-hmm.
this is a dihydric base because it has
And that
a two
is,
two OHs.
oh, okay.
Okay, مثلا if I say ال ALOH بكل ثلاثة, this is called ايه؟
That's a trihydric ba or poly.
لا, trihydric صح. trihydric.
Oh, okay.
تمام؟ طيب. Most of the time he will not give you a monobasic acid with a monohydric base because this is so simple. اللي هو يجيب لك NaOH plus HCl. This is too simple. Most of the times he will give you a different different acids and bases. Okay, so the first thing to do when you deal with a neutralization reaction is write the equation. Maybe this is the first step for any question that is telling you a story. I am taking 25 solution of a sulfuric acid is completely neutralized with 50 centimeters of a zero point 0.3 sodium hydroxide solution. So this is a story.
Hmm.
So you must convert the story into an
And
equation. But first of all, you must write an equation.
okay, so we know that we have volume, we have
Forget
concentration.
about the volumes now with concentrations. First of
Oh,
all, you must write down the equation
sorry.
before dealing with the numbers.
Okay, so we have sulfuric acid and hydroxide. So we do NO, NaOH
تمام.
plus HCl.
ليه HCl؟ فين ال HCl اللي في الموضوع؟ معانا H2SO4 و NaOH، فين ال HCl؟
Oh wait, sorry, never mind. H2SO4.
تمام.
And then we would get a product of NaSO4
ممتاز.
and plus um H2OH. Oh wait,
H2OH.
no, wait. That's water.
اوكي،
H2O.
صح كده. Second step,
Second
before
step, we
balancing. Before balancing.
look at the electrons.
ايوه، يعني look at the molecular formulas to make sure that in the reactants or products are written in a proper way. فطبعا يعني he gave you the reactants, so we will do the products. ها تفتكري بقى ال NaSO4 is in the correct form.
Um, so I know SO4 is -2,
ممتاز. How did you
and
do?
because of the what's it called? The the disulfide, no, because it's like one of those properties.
يعني you can know it from two sources. يا اما من التيبل اللي مستر ساري اداهولك once
Yeah,
upon a
that
time
yeah, that
الدايفالنت، يا اما
yes, different. That's what I
ايوه،
was trying.
يا اما from the reactants itself. يعني H2SO4 I know that in the hydrogen is in group 1 positive 1. Okay,
Right?
and searching for the valency of the sulfate you will find it under the hydrogen, under the other element.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the SO4 is combining with two hydrogens. This means that it has a divalent valency, a negative 2 oxidation state. طيب, what about the sodium?
So sodium, you could see that sodium Na it would only be one
صح.
because we know that it's positive one because we know that OH is -1, and because
ممتاز.
together it means it balances out.
صحيح. And the sodium طبعا we can know الصوديوم يعني ال elements I can get the elements from the periodic table. على فكرة يعني it is much easier to find the valency of ال elements.
Right.
The problem starts with the atomic groups ال SO4 ال OH ال CO3. okay, فالصوديوم you were right. I know that in hydroxide negative 1 and they cancel each other. This means in the sodium is positive 1. طيب خلاص
Mhm.
يبقى ادي positive 1 على الصوديوم. Next.
So
If
then we change the equation to Na2SO4
ممتاز جدا.
plus
خلاص كده
H.
يبقى عملنا switching. As for the water, you know the water H2OH.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. طيب. Then I will start a balancing because the equation is not balanced.
Right, because there's three H's and we only have two. So
حلو
we
قوي.
would
I will give you a tip. I will give you a tip when you're dealing with reactions that has water inside of it يعني that has the water as a product يعني. Deal with the water as if يعني it is a compound formed from ال H وال OH. HOH. This will help you balance.
Mm-hmm.
يعني now you know that in the water has one H and there is a two H's in the equation.
Mm-hmm.
اوكي.
Okay.
ال OH is balanced خلاص. one OH و one OH مفيش مشكلة. انما ال H's السلفuric acid has two H's and the water has only one H.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what will I do?
What you would do is you would put a 2 in
حلو.
front of the H2.
حلو قوي.
So now you got 4 H2O. And
حلو.
so you put another 2 in front of the other H2O.
other H2 قصدك other H2.
No, no, not that one. The other one.
the other one where.
An AO.
هنا ال OH دي يعني.
Yeah.
تمام اوكي اهو.
Um, and then okay, so you have two ends. You have how many oxygens? You would have 2, 6 on that side. Yeah, you're good.
I'm good. Okay. طيب. I will remind you, refresh your mind with these tips. When you balance, do not start with the hydrogens and the oxygens. Leave them till the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you start balancing, if you have an atomic group at the left and it has the same and it is the same at the right, it didn't change, it didn't break down. So deal with the atomic group as if it is one element. يعني forget about you have 6 O's او you have 5 O's او كده. لا خلاص. Deal with the SO4 as if it is one element.
Oh, okay.
when you're dealing with the oxygens, just deal with this oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
تمام كده.
Yeah.
فلما اجي اعمل balancing, start with the sodium. Don't start with the hydrogens والاكسجينز. I have two sodiums. هنا I have one sodium. تمام. فهحط هنا اتنين. خلاص كده. طب انا كده خلصت الصوديوم. السلفيت عندي 1 سلفيت و1 سلفيت. تمام. هنا عندي 2 OHs وعندي 2 H's، يبقى انا محتاج احط 2 عند الميه.
Mm-hmm.
طيب. why did I do why did I write البالانسد reaction and يعني الرياكشن and make sure that the molecular forms are correct and then balance the reaction? Because these two numbers is very important for me.
Mm-hmm.
The number of moles of acids and the number of moles of bases is very important.
Right.
Right? Okay. Let's continue بقى. كملي هتعملي ايه؟
Okay, so now that we have the equation, next thing we do is we
ايوه.
read the problem. So we have the volume. We have 25 centimeter volume, and we have another volume of 50. So we could use a volume instead of the moles, I think.
Using a volume instead of the moles, we deal with this step when we're
Mhm.
dealing with the gases.
Oh,
Do
okay.
not forget, when we are dealing with the gases, now we are not dealing with the gases.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay, huh? I want you to try.
Okay, so we have 25 cm completely neutralized by 50 cm, so that's another volume. The concentration is 0.3. Okay, so that
And
means it has to be equal to each other. So it means it has to be V1, C1 equals V2, C2. No, that's only dilution.
ماشي.
Okay,
صح صح. This is a delusion. We will use this يعني in the third question we will use this law.
okay.
I will
Um,
give you a law for this reaction, but first, let's do it step by step as a simple mole problem يعني.
okay.
When you have nothing to do and or you can't find anything to do, look for the number of moles. This is the key for everything.
Okay.
From these numbers, how can I get any number of moles? Any number of moles. It will open the door.
Mm-hmm.
I have a I have a volume for a sulfuric acid and I don't know the concentration. In fact, he wants the concentration. خلاص, forget about the sulfuric acid. I have the volume and the concentration of the sodium hydroxide.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go for the number of moles of الصوديوم hydroxide. ايه رأيك؟
Okay.
ازاي بقى؟ انهي لو بقى اللي يجيب لي النمبر اوف مولز of الصوديوم hydroxide؟
So you do the number of moles times the molar mass.
You need a cup of tea. صح؟
Oh wait, sorry, what did you say?
You need a cup of tea. صح كده؟ You're not concentrating.
Wait,
Okay.
say the
I
question again.
have a volume
Okay.
and a concentration and I want to
Oh,
get the number of moles.
oh, you just do volume times concentration. Sorry.
بس كده. Okay? Why are you going for the molar mass?
Sorry, my bad. I thought you said I wasn't paying attention.
You was not paying attention. لا, you're not focusing. Try to focus. Okay? You have الايه? A number of moles. You have, sorry, a concentration and you have a number of moles. So I will get a number of moles of sodium hydroxide.
But don't we have to turn the volume to dm cubed before we do that?
Perfect.
Because it's cm,
صح. I cannot work out السنتيمتر كيوب مع الديسيمتر كيوب. It will not work.
right? So
فهعمل ايه بقى في ال 50؟
we divide it by 1,000.
حلو. فهتبقى
0.05.
ممتاز. وبعد كده اضربها
0.3 and you get 0.015.
0.015
Yeah.
كده.
Yeah, like that.
Now I have the number of moles of sodium hydroxide. Now we're
Mhm.
talking بقى. هنعمل ايه؟
So we know the number of moles of the NaOH, and we know that this is double than H2SO4
ممتاز.
divided by 2 to find the amount of moles
صح
needed for
كده.
that.
يبقى هنحط هنا 0.05 وهنحط هنا x ونعمل cross multiplication.
Right.
يبقى النمبر اوف مولز اوف ال H2SO4 هيكون 0.015 times 1 over 2.
Mm-hmm.
فهيبقى
Oh, that would be divided by 2, 0.0075.
0.0075
Mhm.
moles.
Right.
طيب. Are we done yet?
No.
No, not yet, because he is asking for the
Wait, what?
concentration of a sulfuric acid.
Oh, oh wait, I get it now. Okay, and then we have the number of moles. So
حلو.
then we do the C equals N equals CV.
ال N equal CV. ماشي. ممكن اقول بقى ال C
Then you
equal
do
N over V. It's the same. ال N equal CV هي C equal N over V.
you then take the amount of moles
حلو.
uh over the volume.
اللي هو كام الفوليوم؟ ادي الاماونت اوف المولز.
Volume is 25, but you
لا.
have to divide it by 1,000,
ايوه. 0.025.
right?
This means
0.025. So this means sorry, wait. 0.025. This means that the concentration is 0.3.
حلو قوي.
Wait, so we could have just put 0.3 from the beginning?
لا، ليه بقى؟ هقول لك انا ليه. I have different volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I have
Okay.
different volumes. So if you have the same volume, if he says that in والله 50 centimeter of sodium hydroxide neutralized ال 50 centimeter of ال HCl. خدي بالك ده كده مونو بيزك HCl. كنت اقول لك they will have the same concentration. But first of all, they are not mono. Two of them are not mono. يعني ال H2SO4 is dibasic. They have 2H, والصوديوم hydroxide has 1OH. ده ال first of all. Second of all, they have different volumes. So I must do the calculations to find the ايه؟ the بتاع ده. طيب بصي بقى، يعني I took you through the solution يعني step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will give you a rule that will make everything mixed in one step. فبليز اكتبيه, write it down in a paper ولا حاجة,
Okay.
and I will tell you the only one condition that you will use this rule. Okay, what is the rule? In ال CA VA over NA equals CB VB over NB. This will help a lot.
Oh, this is for acidic versus basic, right? If you have an acidic, what's it called, and a basic,
Titration, neutralization.
oh, okay, okay.
Okay, this is you can call this the law of titration
Or neutralization.
أو neutralization. حلو الكلام. But you
Okay.
will use this law in one condition. يعني only when he gives you 5 known values and he wants the sixth one. طب what
Mm,
are these بقى? You know that in CA is the concentration of الايه؟ دي ال concentration of الacid. طب what's with the VA؟ دي ال volume of الacid.
mm-hmm.
طبعا السي بي يبقى ال concentration of البيز. طب السي الفي بي ده الفوليوم اوف البيز.
Mm-hmm.
الفوليوم اوف البيز. What's
Okay.
with the NA والان بي بقى؟
Wait, can you re-say the CA, VA, and BC again? Sorry.
اهو this is the law اهو.
So CA, I
السي
can't really.
اي is the concentration of الاسيد.
Okay.
ال concentration of الاسيد. اوكي it's unknown. طب الفي
Okay.
اي I have the VA. طب
Volume.
السي بي I have the CB اللي هي concentration of البيز. طب الفي
Mm-hmm.
بي I have the VB اللي هي ال 50 سنتيمتر.
Mm-hmm.
اوكي what's with the NA والان بي بقى؟ ال Na وال Nb دي number of moles of الاسيد and البيز in the chemical balanced chemical equation. يعني H2SO4 plus 2 NaOH. Okay,
Okay.
this is the Na and this is the Nb.
Okay.
From the balanced equation. If you didn't write this down, you will forget it.
Okay, I wrote it down.
CAVA على Na equal CBVB على NB with one condition. He must give me 5 5 of 6 من الفاليوز دي. If he gives me 4 values, it will not work.
Mm-hmm.
تمام.
Ma'am.
So if you go through this law, you will find it يعني ايه you will يعني بيسموها ايه you will answer the question in one step.
Mm-hmm.
بس طبعا لازم تغيري السنتيمترز دي، لازم تتغير.
Mm-hmm.
اوكي طيب
Okay.
this is one. Two, بيقول بقى finding ال unknown concentration. You have 10 centimeter cube of a 0.15 mole per decimeters solution of acetic acid.
Mm-hmm.
This solution is neutralized by 200 centimeter of the NaOH solution with an unknown concentration. If the concentration of the NaOH is 0.1, find the concentration of the acetic acid.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
ثواني بس لحظة واحدة كده. You have 100 centimeters of a 0.15
Okay, so that's
CH.
volume.
This solution is neutralized by 200 centimeters of an NaOH of an unknown concentration. طيب خلاص ماشي. طيب if the concentration of the NaOH solution is 0.1, find the concentration of the acetic acid.
But did it not just give us the concentration? We have two concentrations already. How are we supposed to find like another one?
Okay. طب this is two different يعني problems يعني. These
Oh,
are two
okay.
different problems. ف first of all we will find the solution of ايه؟ We will find the concentration of the unknown NaOH.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So هعمل ايه؟ قولي خطوات كده. Let me يعني walk me through the steps.
Okay, first thing we do is we write the equation.
حلو.
So we have C3COOH.
CH3 COOH. ماشي.
Mhm.
This is an organic acid.
Mm-hmm.
خلاص. Dealing with
Okay.
the organic acids uh, is special because الأورجانيك acids يعني المفروض أنا قلت لك this is an organic acid فهتقولي لي إيه؟ Where is the H in the left side؟ مش أنت بتقول لي
Right.
الأسيدز كل ال H's بتاعتها كلها في الليفت سايد؟ ف we say that إن ال H's of the organic acids is special.
Okay.
This group COOH
Carboxyl group.
الكربوكسيل جروب دي بقى هي responsible for الاسيديتي for
Mm-hmm.
in organic acids.
Okay.
Okay. And the hydrogen in this group, this is the hydrogen that will hydrolyze. يعني CH3COOH دي if it is hydrolyzed in water it will give a CH3COO in a side will H
Mhm.
plus in the other side.
Okay.
Okay. ف this is a special type of acids. Organic acids is a special type of acids. طيب فاحنا بنقول بقى ان organic acids I have an organic acid titrated
Mhm.
with sodium hydroxide. Try بقى to figure out the product.
Okay. CH3COH plus NaOH. Okay, I think the product. Okay, I think it's gonna be NaCOOH and C3H and OH.
ايه لا لا you are almost there خلاص كده يعني we can break down ال NaOH into Na و OH تمام. Break the CH3COOH from this part
Why?
because
Isn't
this is the
carboxyl?
hydrolyzable hydrogen. This is the hydrogen that will leave the group. This is the acidic hydrogen.
Why is it that one? Why isn't it another one?
Okay, this is a good question. A CH3, it is like this, okay? This is the other carbon
Mm-hmm.
with a COOH. خلاص? The
Okay.
electronegativity difference, and I think you know what is the electronegativity difference.
Yeah.
The electronegativity difference between the carbon and the hydrogen is very low.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no polarity in this part of the compound. There is no positive and negative.
Mm-hmm.
خلاص. The electronegativity between ال O and ال H in a COOH is big enough to make this part of the compound polar. Why? Because the O is a very selfish element.
Mm-hmm.
عندها electronegativity عالية. ال
Mm-hmm.
H is a very poor guy. خلاص كده.
Okay.
So the oxygens will attract the electrons of the chemical bond between the oxygen and the hydrogen, leaving the oxygen with a partial negative sign and leaving the hydrogen with a partial positive sign.
Mm-hmm.
This is called the polarity.
Mm-hmm.
And the polarity, one of the very important results of the electronegativities. يعني since in the oxygen is more electronegative than the hydrogen significantly, this will make the oxygen take the electrons of a chemical bond between the oxygen and the hydrogen for longer time. This will lead to the presence of a partial negative sign on the oxygen and a partial
Mm-hmm.
positive sign on the hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
خلاص?
Wait, I have another question though.
But I
Why didn't
didn't
you?
answer the first question yet.
Oh, oh, okay, my bad.
Give me my time.
All right.
طيب. This is enough for the water molecules to attack. الووتر molecules يعني الووتر is a polar solvent. المولekils of the water is polar.
Mm-hmm.
So it will attack the acid at this part. It will break this bond.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with the other bonds because all of the other bonds are non-polar. يعني except for السي دبل بوند O بس دي قصة تانية. خلاص؟
Mm-hmm.
فالwater is a polar solvent that will dissolve the polar substances, that will hydrolyze the polar substances. This is the polar part inside the organic acid.
Mm-hmm.
So to cut it short, if you are dealing with organic acid, remember that in the carboxyl group, okay,
Mm-hmm.
is the point of breaking, and the hydrogen in the carboxyl group is the only hydrogen that will leave the compound. Any other hydrogen, يعني مثلا CH3, CH2, 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 COOH, this is an organic acid.
Mm-hmm.
The only hydrogen that will participate in the acid-base neutralization is this hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
All of the other hydrogens will not leave the structure. يعني.
Mm-hmm.
What's your next question?
Is it also because carbon can only have like maximum of four bonds? And so,
It's not about a number of bonds. ليه؟ لأن بعد كده ال CH3COO will be hydrolyzed in water, okay?
mm-hmm.
And will يعني will react with the sodium أو will combine with the sodium to gain the electron from the sodium.
Mm-hmm.
يعني the result of this equation will be ان طبعا بقى احنا neutralization صح؟ ال
Right.
H will take ال OH to give water.
Mm-hmm.
فخلاص you can remove this hydrogen with this hydroxide. What do you have left? ال
And
CH3COO minus and ال Na plus. They will form an ionic compound. The sodium will give its electron to the CH3COO minus. Okay? So it will give كده. CH3COO NA, and this is the only case that we write down the metal in the right side of the compound.
If it's with an organic?
If it is an organic compound. Organic
Okay.
compounds, we write the structure of the organic part first, then we write the metal. In spite
Mm-hmm.
of يعني despite that we have the fact in the COO is a non-metal part, but in
Mm-hmm.
chemistry we write down the organic part first, then we write the metal.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get back to the question.
Wait, I just have another question, sorry.
اتفضلي.
Why wasn't it like, why did the H, why wasn't it also like OH? Like, I understand why it's not all of COOH, but why wasn't it just like the OH that went?
You are going deep. طيب, I will tell you why. CH3 C double bond OH. You see these two bonds.
Yeah.
حلو قوي الكلام ده. يعني depending on the strength of this bond compared by the strength of this bond,
Mm-hmm.
we can يعني predict the breaking down of this compound will give me an OH or it will give me an H. خلاص. ف
Mm-hmm.
in case of a CH3 C double bond OH, this is the weaker bond, and this is a stronger bond. So
Mm-hmm.
when it hydrolyzes, the weaker bond will break. Okay? So it will break as an acid. As for الصوديوم hydroxide مثلا, for an instance يعني, this bond is stronger than this bond, ده weaker bond. So when
Mm-hmm.
NaOH is hydrolyzed in water, this bond will break down. So the OH group will leave. So there are factors affecting the strength of these two bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But we will not go through these factors بقى. Because these factors depend on the size of the atom having the bond with the oxygen, the charge أو valency of يعني you are taking the chemistry curriculum, you want to take the chemistry curriculum in one capsule. This is very hard. Okay? So
Yeah.
I don't want to يعني to spend the whole session with just three ideas or three problems.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's deal with with question 4 by what we have. ايه بقى احنا عندنا ايه دلوقتي؟ ال CH3COOH خلاص اهو، ادي CH3COOH. This is an acid. And the NaOH, this is a base. Reacting with each other will يعني make a neutralization reaction. الهيدروجين will take الهيدروكسيد to give الwater.
Mm-hmm.
الصوديوم will take الاسيتيت to give الصوديوم اسيتيت اهو CH3COO, which has a negative sign with the Na plus with the one positive sign, so they will cancel each other كده خلاص CH3COO Na.
Mm-hmm.
طيب يبقى first of all we have the equation, and we know that it is written in a correct way.
Right.
Then we will balance the equation. Okay, we will find that in the equation A, each one will react with one. Next أعمل إيه بقى؟
Next thing you do is you read the problem and see
Okay.
what it.
Read the problem.
So you have 100. So that's your volume, and you have 0.15. That's your concentration.
حلو. ده
Um,
فوليوم ايه؟
the volume, sorry.
فوليوم اوف ايه؟ اوف الاسيد ولا البيز؟
Um, the acid.
حلو، يبقى ده في ايه. تمام. with 0.15
That is the concentration of the acid.
يبقى ده سي ايه. تمام.
So we're gonna be using the CAVA over NA equals the CB other B's and stuff.
and stuff. Why? Because I have one value, two, three,
Mhm.
four, and five. Five out of six. يبقى خلاص نشغل القانون. يبقى السي اي في اي على ان اي equals سي بي في بي على الان بي.
Right.
اوكي.
Okay. So then we read the rest and we know that it
لا do not
neutralizes.
read the rest. يعني deal with the problem to find the concentration of ال NaOH.
Okay. Um, so then we just do 0.1 times 0.15 over 1.
0.1 ده ال VA
Yeah.
times 0.15 ده ال
Yeah.
CA over ال
Over
NA اللي هو 1. اوكي خلاص مش هنكتبها equals
equals um 0.2
0.2.
times x over 1.
اوكي يبقى times x او خليها times السي بي. سي sub b. ها يبقى السي sub b بقى هي ايه؟
Times c sub b. So that's going to be 0.1 times 0.5 divided by 0.2. That's going to be 0.075.
0.075.
Mm-hmm.
خلاص احنا كده عملنا ايه؟ جبنا ال unknown concentration of الصوديوم هيدروكسيد
Right.
اللي هو كام؟
0.075.
حلو. هنا بقى بيقول لك if the concentration of the NaOH solution is 0.1 مش 0.007 مش 0.075 بقى.
Mm-hmm.
Find the concentration of acetic acid. This means يا دورة, this means that I think يعني
Mm-hmm.
let's say we have the same volume of ال NaOH
Okay.
and the same volume of acetic acid,
Okay.
and now we have the concentration of ال NaOH,
Okay.
the CB. Then find
Oh,
بقى CA. Find the CA.
okay.
That's it. يعني he will just after getting the unknown concentration of sodium hydroxide, now he will give you the concentration of sodium hydroxide and try to get the concentration of acetic acid.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. هتعملي
Okay.
ايه؟
So you do the equation of the CVN over N. So you get 0.1 times CA over 1 equals 0.2 times 0.1 over 1. And then you just solve for CA. So
صح.
that's going to be 0.2 times 0.1 divided by 0.1. It's going to be 0.2.
تمام. That's it. I think that's it.
Mhm.
يعني we will not do anything else. But this is a very weird question يعني.
Yeah. You probably use ChatGPT or something.
Yeah. What about using ChatGPT? It's so fine.
It's good, yes, it's nice, but like he's supposed to be teaching. He's not doing
Okay.
anything. He's
Okay.
just there getting.
Sometimes I get stuck uh, and يعني my time would be very 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 يعني short
Mhm.
and I deal with الايه I deal with the quizzes with the chat GPT.
No,
Then
but
after taking these questions copy paste and giving them to the students, then now it's time to answer the quiz with the students. So يعني at that point I am facing what I'm doing with ChatGPT. أقول sometimes أو many times ChatGPT just gives you some يعني ideas
Mhm.
that is يعني from here or there. If you do not read the results of what he is يعني giving to you, you're gonna be in a big problem بجد والله, because sometimes يعني he goes so far, يعني بيروح في ideas, لا انت كده this is not suitable for this type of students.
Yeah.
ففعلا لازم لما الواحد يستخدم شات جي بي تي يقرا الاسئله كويس قبل ما يديها للستودنتس عشان ما يقعش في الميستيكس دي.
The thing is he doesn't read it, and then when there is a problem, he doesn't fix it, and he uses it for every single class. He always uses it, like all the classes. He either gives us his YouTube videos or he gives us stuff from ChatGPT. He doesn't do anything. No slideshows, no nothing. It's always that.
مش عارف. الله المستعان. I don't know what to say. طيب if this is the يعني if this is what all the students are saying, يبقى the problem is فعلا with the teacher يعني. ف
Yeah.
God be with you. The problem that بقى it will be a catastrophe if he يعني spent يعني the 12th year كمان with you. It's not gonna be fine يعني.
Yeah, he's also going to be teaching me next year.
He's not gonna be teaching next year.
Oh, he is.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay. God be with you. طيب تعالي بقى خلاص, الدايليشن بروبلم we know the idea of الدايليشن بروبلم صح كده؟ ان شاء الله هتبقى it will be easier يعني.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully we want to prepare 500 centimeter cubes of a 0.05 mole per decimeter hydrochloric acid solution from a stock solution with a concentration of L1 mole. How much of the stock solution in centimeter cubes do you need to use?
Okay, easy.
Easy. طب
Yes.
اتفضل.
Okay, so we have 500 volume, so that's going to be 0.5.
ماشي.
You have the concentration of 0.05. And we have another concentration of 0.1. So we have to find the volume in cm, so we'll just convert it later.
طيب. Okay. What's the rule?
C1 V1 equals C2 V2.
حلو. What's the problem with the C1 with the V1 وال V2? Let's
V1
ها السي 1 قلنا هتبقى ايه؟ السي
uh,
1 في 1 before before dilution صح؟
yeah, so it's going to be 0.05.
0. لا, we want to prepare ال 500 سنتيمتر of a 0.05 from a stock. دايما الستوك بيبقى هو الكونسنتريتد. اوكي.
Okay.
فال 1 دي this is a C1. ماشي.
Oh, okay.
اوكي. times ال V1 is
Which
the
is
is the بتاع ده is the required equals
equals 0.5 times 0.05.
0.5 times is 0.05.
Mm-hmm.
فهنعمل ايه؟
We just solve for
تمام.
V1
0.5 times 0.05 والناتج اللي هيطلع we will multiply it by 1000 عشان نجيبه بالايه؟
centimeters.
بالسنتيمترز. خلاص. يعني dilution problems like this has no problem. الدايليوشن problems which has a trick in it لما يقول لك ايه if you add 500 centimeter cube, adding 500 centimeter cube to a solution اللي هو اصلا 200 سنتيمتر cubed والconcentration بتاعه 0.03 mole per decimeter cubes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the trick بقى، لأن adding 500 centimeters of water to 200 centimeters. Okay, this is V1
Mm-hmm.
but this is not V2. ال 500 is not V2. ال V2 would be 500 plus 200
Mm-hmm.
because you are putting 500 centimeters over the يعني الأوريجينال 200. فthis is the trick of dilution.
Mm-hmm.
يعني sometimes the students take ال 500 centimeters of الووتر poured يقول عليهم دي ال V2. لا, this is not ال V2. ال V2 is the summation of ال 500 plus ال 200. This is the only trick في الدايلوشن.
Wait, can you
Understood?
say that? No, I didn't really understand it.
I say you want me to say it again?
Please.
طيب خلاص. I have a question. Now بقول لك you have a solution of NaCl. Okay? A solution of ال NaCl of volume 200 decimeter cubed and of ال concentration 0.03 mole per decimeter cubed. Find ال concentration of the solution if you add 500 centimeter cube of water. يلا.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we would do the CV equals CV2.
C1 V1 equal C2 V2 صح كده؟
That's it.
طب ال
Um,
C1 كام؟
C1, so you have a starting
You have a
C1
solution. Solution.
2.
This is a solution
Okay.
of NaCl of volume 200 decimeter cube. So this is the A, the
This is the
V1.
one,
This
UC1.
is the V1
Yeah,
and of concentration 0.03.
right. So that's going to be times 0.03.
حلو قوي. Equals ال C2 ده required.
Mm-hmm.
طب what about ال V2 بقى؟
The V2 is going to be 0.5 because you have to turn it into dm cubed.
يا أستاذة دورة أهو يا ستي. I am so sorry. Let it be dm cubed.
Okay.
ال V2 هتبقى equal كام؟
500.
And this is the mistake that I was talking about. ليه؟ Because I added ال 500 over the 200. I poured the 500 decimeters of water over the
Oh,
original 200. I
oh,
didn't remove it 200.
oh, I get it now. Okay, I get it. I get it.
So the V2 would be 700, not 500.
So is this what we do every single time when we look at volume when it's dilution?
أيوة, but not in this case because يعني in this case he is not telling you that he put uh, uh, another portion of the water. لا يعني he told you that uh, the concentration of the original one is كذا and after putting the water till it reached 500 centimeters the concentration is كذا. So this is different. امتى بقى اقول لك ال V2 هتبقى هي is your problem when he says in the question that you have a solution and I added water.
Mm-hmm.
In number 5 he didn't say that. He did say that you have a stock خلاص this is on the shelf. You
Right?
took you took a certain volume, this is the required,
Mm-hmm.
with a certain concentration, he gave me the concentration, and then I added water to reach 500 centimeters.
Okay, I understand it now.
اوكي طيب
Okay.
this is يعني ايه this is more direct and this is easier. يعني number 5 is easier. The problem that I wrote it down كده to give you the trick of the V2 بس.
Mm-hmm.
طيب I think now you can do these three problems with no difficulties يعني مش كده؟ بإذن الله. طيب do you remember when did we stop استني الأول أجيب الشيت stop share. يا سيدي يا سيدي حاضر، يا سيدي حاضر. أخيرا. IB formative task. We did go through 3 4 5 6 7. A toxic gas. I remember a toxic gas. I remember number 10. I think we didn't we didn't solve 11 صح كده؟ 11 بيقول an oxide of copper was reduced in a stream of hydrogen. After heating, the stream of hydrogen gas was maintained until the apparatus had cooled. The following results were obtained. كذا كذا كذا.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go through 11. I think so صح؟
Yeah. Yeah, I just realized now that I was muted. So yeah, I was saying
okay.
yeah, Rock
ماشي.
11.
I thought you were sleeping.
No, no, I was talking and then I just like, oh.
طيب. Okay. Let's do 11.
Mm-hmm.
An oxide of copper was reduced in a stream of hydrogen. طبعا يعني hydrogen gas is one of the reducing agents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can use the hydrogen gas to reduce the copper oxide. But we don't know الكبر oxide ده copper 2 oxide ولا copper 1 oxide. We have many types of oxides.
Right.
After heating, after heating, the stream of hydrogen gas was maintained until the apparatus had cooled. The following results were obtained. ايه بقى ال following results؟ الماس of the empty dish is 13.8 والmass of a dish and the contents before heating was 21.75 والmass of a dish of the contents after heating and leaving to cool is 20.15 grams.
Mhm.
Type, explain why the stream of hydrogen gas was maintained until the apparatus cooled. Why?
Explain why the stream of hydrogen gas was maintained until. Maybe because when it was cooled, if there was like hydrogen gas, okay, so there could have been like concentration, evaporation, and then when it cooled down, it could have like condensed, and so
Nope.
okay.
طيب مش
Uh,
احنا ممكن يعني اقول لك حاجه. الكبر اوكسايد we removed some oxygens using الهيدروجين صح كده؟
right,
طيب if we leave the result the produced copper مثلا لنفرض مثلا، طب ما هو برضو it will react with the oxygen in the atmosphere once again. It will be
right,
oxidized, right?
right.
So leaving or using the stream of hydrogen gas till the apparatus is cooled down to make sure that the resultant or the product will not
Mhm.
be reoxidized by oxygen in the air.
Could you say that again? I didn't really understand that.
طيب I will tell you something.
Okay.
If you have an apple and you take a slice of this apple and you put it on a dish on the table, what is the observation that you will see?
It will slowly start to turn brown
Why?
because of oxidation.
Oxidation of content of apple, it will be oxidized when it is exposed to air صح كده؟
Yeah.
Because air is very rich of oxygen.
Right.
حلو قوي. طيب now I have a copper oxide and I use the hydrogen to get rid of the oxygens.
Okay.
Okay? If I leave the copper without protection, maybe it will react with the oxygen around it from the air once again.
Right.
So it will become copper oxide again.
Mm-hmm.
So يعني using the stream of hydrogen gas, this is a reducing agent. This is a reducing gas. يعني this gas is used to remove the oxygens from the oxides.
Mm-hmm.
So it will prevent the produced copper from reoxidation once again by the oxygen of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
If I take a carbon oxide, a copper oxide, and I
Okay.
use the hydrogen gas to remove the oxygen from it and then leave the copper once again to the oxygen in the atmosphere, this means that I am playing because it will be oxidized once again.
Mm-hmm.
فأنا عايز أحمي I want to protect the product from oxidation
Oh, okay.
of atmospheric air.
Okay.
So I will maintain pumping the hydrogen gas to make sure that the produced copper compound will not reoxidize once again.
Okay, okay.
Understood?
Understood.
طيب خلاص بقى يبقى one of the fundamentals in chemistry when he is saying something is left in air,
Mm-hmm.
he is talking about the oxidation by the oxygen in the air.
Mm-hmm.
خلاص كده؟ يعني what happens when something is left on the table of the مش عارف ايه, it is oxidized by the oxygen in the air.
Okay.
If he says that I am يعني using الهيدروجين gas to do something to anything, this means he is trying to reduce, he is trying to make a reduction process to this substance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
When he talks about الهيدروجين gas, put in your mind we are dealing with a reduction. When he talks about air, atmospheric air, put in your mind now I'm talking about oxidation. تمام؟
تمام.
طيب فهو بيقول لك ايه بقى؟ An oxide of the copper was reduced. A reduction process took place. طيب what is the reducing agent? Hydrogen gas, a stream of hydrogen. طيب after heating, the stream of hydrogen gas was maintained until the apparatus had cooled. Then the following results were obtained. kept الماس of empty dish, الماس of dish with oxide before hydrogen, and الماس of dish with the substance produced after using hydrogen. فنمبر 1 بيقول لي why the stream of the hydrogen gas was maintained. على طول انت تفكري ايه؟ I will use the hydrogen to
Mm-hmm.
protect the product from from the oxidation of the atmospheric air. This is number A.
Mm-hmm.
طب نمبر B بقى بيقول ايه؟ calculate the empirical formula, and this is the important part بقى عشان كده 3 marks. Calculate the empirical formula of the oxide of copper using the data above,
Mm-hmm.
assuming complete reduction of the oxide.
Okay. Okay. So first thing that we do is we write the equation that we have,
We write
right?
the equation. I like this part يعني I like that ان انت you are trying to to make the story to turn the story into an equation, but the problem is we do not know what type of copper oxide that we are using. Is it a
Oh,
copper 1 oxide or a copper 2 oxide?
right.
عشان كده هو بيقول ايه في السؤال؟ An oxide of copper was reduced. إيه انت عارفه
Oh.
يا دورا this is
Okay, then I don't
a practical example of
Mm-hmm.
the part that we took together. How do we know that in المغنيسيوم oxide الفورمولا بتاعتها MgO not MgO2 not MgO3.
Mm-hmm.
He is dealing يعني he is doing the same now. I want to
Mm-hmm.
know empirical formula. Is it CuO ولا Cu2O ولا CuO2 ولا ايه بالظبط؟
Okay, فهمت عارفة أعمل إيه.
طيب اتفضلي.
Okay, so we want to find the empirical formula, so we need the grams. Here we have 3 grams, but this one we don't want the dish in it. So what we do is for the first one is we do 21.75 minus 13.8. صح؟
This will give me the mass of
Um,
ايه؟
the oxidized copper.
بالظبط كده the mass of الكبر and the oxides inside it. ممتاز.
So
هيطلع
then
الوزن
you
كام؟
you get 7.95, but you're not done there because that has the oxidized in it. You want it two separately. So then you you do 21.75 minus 20.15.
الماس of the dish and the contents after heating
Mm-hmm.
would be
So that
20.5 15. هتطرحي منها الماس بتاع الايه؟ بتاع الدش صح؟
right. So you get 1.6.
يعني انت 20.15 ماينس هتحطي ايه 20.15 دي هتعمليها ماينس ايه؟
You
ماينس
what I did
21.75.
yeah.
طب لو عملتي كده it will give you a negative value.
Oh صح. Oh,
I
you
want to
do
remove the dish.
you do minus 13, sorry.
صح
Minus
كده.
13.
يبقى ماينس ايه 13.8.
And so that gives you 6.35.
6 point كام؟
35.
35. طب what is this بقى 6.35 دي ايه؟
It's the without the oxygen.
It's the A without the oxygen.
It's the dish without the oxygen. It's
I know
the
the mass of a dish اهو. الماس of
it's
a dish 13.8.
mhm.
يبقى
This one
6.35 this is the ايه؟
copper.
This is the copper without the oxygen.
Then you do 6.35 minus, sorry, 7.95 minus 6.35 to get the oxygen alone.
حلو اللي هو يبقى كام؟
It's gonna be 1.6.
ماشي. Then خلاص بقى
Uh,
انت كده you put your step on the right track بقى. الباقي كله عبارة عن تك 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 يعني steps that you know.
and then you do oxygen, you know it's gonna be 16.
حلو.
Copper is
Round is 6
three,
63.5.
yeah, 63.5. So 1.6 divided by 16 is 0.1. And
وهتلاقي
then
الناحية التانية I think 0.1.
really? Oh.
Almost.
Yeah, it's 0.1. It's exactly 0.1.
خد بالك I'm rounding.
No, it is exactly 0.1.
طيب اوكي. ايوه
Then
اصل
you do
هتلاقي اكيد طبعا في الاي بي مش هتلاقي يعني في الايجيبشن كوريكولم اي نو ذات ان 63.5 ده بتاعت الكبر. الاي بي لازم هتلاقي 63.58 40 12 مش عارف.
yeah,
اوكي طيب يبقى 0.1 و 0.1 next
it's divided by 0.1 on both sides
عشان
because
السمولست
then you get 1 to
فهتديني 1 ل 1. this means ان الامبيريكال ايه؟
1 to 1.
يعني الامبيريكال هي عباره عن كبر اوكسايد كبر 2 اوكسايد.
Right.
خلاص واضحه بقى الصوره كده. يبقى هنا بقى مش هنعمل ايكويجن لان هو ما انا معيش حاجه اعمل بيها ايكويجن.
صح.
خلاص. يبقى اول لما تلاقي الامتي ديشز الماس اوف الامتي ديش والماس اوف الديش ويز الايه والماس اوف الديش ويز الايه do that what you did ان انت remove الماس اوف الامتي dish from everything to
Mm-hmm.
get the mass of الكبر alone والماس of الكبر with الاوكسايد. by subtracting I can get the mass of الاوكسايد. then I will do الامبيريكال as if it is يعني one of the يعني compounds that he give. طيب ممتاز.
Mm-hmm.
يبقى احنا كده عملنا explain why the stream of hydrogen gas was maintained وعملنا calculation. write an equation for the reaction that occurred.
Okay, so that's going to be Cu
ايوه.
plus
see
oh
you
no,
plus.
Cu no, sorry,
ايوه
CuO
ايوه
copper
كده.
oxide equals
لا
Cu
ثواني
plus
ثواني see you وبعدين plus ايه؟
CuO plus um
read the story.
there's heat. So if there's heat
ايوه
that
before الهيت. هو السي يو دي انا عملت ايه؟ عملت لها ايه؟
hydrogen
ايوه.
reduction in hydrogen.
يبقى كده بلس اتش.
Yeah,
لا ركزي تاني. بلس اتش.
hydrogen after heating the stream of hydrogen gas
ايوه.
H2O.
ايوه لا مش H2O H2 بس.
Oh.
do not forget in most of the mistakes of the students in chemistry comes from not dealing with the diatomic molecules اللي هم السفن ال H2 وال O2 وال N2 وال Cl2 وال F2 وال Br2 وال I2. This
Mhm,
causes a lot of problems with the students. Do not
mhm.
forget if I'm dealing with the hydrogen, don't write an H. It is an H2
Okay.
especially in equations. طيب خلاص ادي كده الرياكتنس. البرودكت تبقى ايه بقى؟
The product would be Cu
ايوه
plus H2O.
ممتاز. Cu plus H2O. خلاص يبقى احنا كده عملنا write an equation for the reaction that occurred. نمبر دي بيقول لي state two changes that would be observed inside the tube as it was heated.
Okay, you probably see condensation, like water evaporating, and you'd see water droplets on the side or at the top.
ماشي.
Uh, it would start to bubble.
هو ايه اللي هيبابل؟ ما هو خلاص الووتر بيتبخر، هنجيب البابلز منين؟
اه صح. um it
دايما it will
melts.
start to bubble لما يبقى في جاز طالع بس في ووتر، يعني في ووتر وفي another جاز. يعني
صح.
مثلا لما اقول مثلا يعني Na2CO3 بلس HCl مثلا، فالناتج اللي هيطلع يبقى NaCl بلس ال CO2 جاز بلس ال H2O. اه في H2O وفي جاز، تعرفي ان في بابلز تطلع. نعم.
مهم.
فاكر محمد اللي امتحن في تالتة ده؟
محمد مين؟ محمد خالد؟
لا، محمد اللي هو اللي ما كتبش اسمه كامل ده. في حد كتب محمد بس كنت فكرته محمود.
ما طلعش محمود؟
لا، طلع محمد.
لا،
والله بابا اللي قال لي.
محمد تامر ما دخلش الامتحان. هفهمك انا بس اخلص مع دورة بس. آه... كنا بنقول ايه؟ طيب، انما هنا احنا لقينا السي يو بلس ال H2O، فانت بتقولي you will find the drops of the water on the walls of the test tube. ماشي. طيب what's with the CU and the CU CuO and the CU؟
um CuO is has oxygen, Cu has no oxygen.
Thank you for this information. This is very important to know. لا, I need an observation. I need an observation that I can see with my eyes.
um okay, you can see steam.
ستيم ولا ستيف؟
Steam.
لا، هقول لك I can see ايه بقى. السي يو او اكيد هذا دارك كولر، مش كده؟
Yeah.
oxidized something، صح كده؟ طب
Oh,
السي يو
it's gonna be shiny and bright because there's no oxygen.
بالظبط كده. زي
Oh,
اعتبري دي البلاك ابل، وخلاص دي بقى الابل without الاكسيديشن. So the color of the solid substance will change.
oh, okay.
اوكي. it doesn't matter
Mm.
بقى الكالر هيجي بقى من دارك مثلا لبرونز مثلا او كده، المهم ان هو the color will change. يبقى الفورميشن اوف الووتر دروبس ده اوبزرفيشن كويس منك جدا. السكند اوبزرفيشن ممكن اقول ان الكالر اوف السوليد سبستانس ويل تشينج. ممتاز. ده كده 11. طيب 12 بقى.
Okay. 0.5, wait, 0.502 grams of an alkali metal sulfate is dissolved in water. In excess of beryllium chloride
هو ايه
solution.
الالكالي ميتال ده؟
Alkali metal is a transition metal.
لا خالص.
Oh, it's something that is it's reactive. It explodes. No? Oh, then it's on the left.
جروب 1
Oh,
is
it's a
called alkali metals، اللي هو
that's that's
ليثيوم صوديوم بوتاسيوم. ها these the group 1 في البريودك تيبل is called الالكالي metals او
oh, okay.
الالكالاي ميتال، مش اشكال.
Okay.
and it comes from an Arabic word على فكرة،
Oh, really?
اللي هي القلوي.
أول مرة أسمعها.
قلوي is the opposite of acidic. حامضي وقلوي. so they didn't change القلوي، they just يعني put it like without changing يعني. they يعني they call group 1 uh, بدل قلوي يقول عليهم الكلي بس كده.
Okay.
اوكي. so 0.502 of an alkali metal whatever اللي هو Na بوتاسيوم روبيديوم اي حاجه let it be X. alkali metal sulfate يبقى SO4. am I writing this correctly؟
As
XSO4.
power -2.
ماشي، ما هي دي باور نيجاتيف 2، هتروح فين النيجاتيف 2 دول؟ ما ده بوزيتيف 1 عشان هو في جروب 1 ودي نيجاتيف 2.
Oh, so the 2 would go under the X.
صح كده، يبقى X2SO4. that is what he is ايه يعني this is what
Oh,
he means when he is talking about alkali metal sulfate X2SO4. طيب
okay.
dissolved in water ماشي. all of alkali metals salts بتdissolve in water and excess يبقى we are not
Okay, so
dealing with the limiting reactants. Excess barium chloride, and he is giving
so
you barium chloride, is added to precipitate all the sulfate ions
mm-hmm.
as barium sulfate اللي هي BaSO4 solid
Right.
insoluble in water. The precipitate is filtrated and dried and weighs 0.762 grams.
Right. So first thing we do is we write the equation.
صح, because this is a story that can be written,
Mm-hmm.
that can be converted into
So
an equation. فهنعمل equation ايه بقى؟
X2 SO4
تمام.
plus
plus
BaCl2.
BaCl2. Okay. Gives.
It gives X2Cl2
حلو. طب X2Cl2.
can just be XCl
ممتاز صح كده. يبقى HCl لان الاكس
plus
بوزيتيف 1 والCl نيجاتيف 1 بلس.
plus BaSO4.
حلو قوي الكلام ده. And this is a sparingly soluble compound يعني precipitate ماشي. يعني this is a solid فممكن نكتب اس هنا كده عشان نبقى فاهمين القصة. طيب and I know the mass of الباريوم sulfate
Right.
0.672. Calculate the amount in mole of barium sulfate formed. He is taking you step by step.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Calculate the mass of barium sulfate formed. Okay. Barium sulfate is 0.062.
This is the
So
mass.
yeah, so we know the mass. So all we have to do is we have to find the molar mass and we find the moles.
حلو. Let's do it.
So molar mass of Ba is okay, so it's gonna be 137.33
حلو.
plus Cl, which
ما
is
فيش CL. ليه CL؟ هو بيقول لك
BaC.
باريوم سلفيت.
Oh, wait, my bad, my bad. Okay, so S is
32 something.
yeah, 32.1, close enough, plus point zero, actually 0.7 plus 16 times 4, and you get 240.33.
240.33.
Yeah,
This is the molar mass.
right,
And I have the mass.
right.
To
So you
get the
just
number of moles,
divide it.
you divide A بإيه بقى؟
You do 0.672
صح.
over molar mass.
حلو. That would give
That gives 0.672 divided by that. You get 0.003.
0.003. ممتاز. Number of moles. خلاص يبقى moles. يبقى this
Mm,
is A, step A. طب step B, determine the amount in mole of the alkali metal sulfate present.
Okay.
Okay.
So if we know that the molar ratios appear to be 1 to 1.
We did a fatal mistake before going to A. We did write
Oh,
the equation, but we didn't balance it. صح?
صح.
So we know that in ال X2SO4 plus BaCl2 equals 2 XCl plus BaSO4. صح كده؟
Yeah.
طيب خلاص. Now we are done with the balancing. Determine the amount in mole of الالكالي metal sulfate. How do I know the amount of moles of الالكالي metal sulfate?
First thing that we do is we know that it's a 1-to-2 ratio. So we just do
1 to 2 ratio ليه؟
because I'm looking at the moles.
You are يا بنتي what 1 second بس. Put a circle around the important part of the equation. صح كده؟
2 on the 1.
فين ال 2 to 1؟
The other side.
يا بنتي this is the required. صح كده؟ This is the required. He wants to determine the number of moles of الالكالي sulfate.
So it's just 1-to-1.
ايوه 1 to 1 because this is given now. I know الباريوم sulfate number of moles. I know that in each 1 mole of ال X2SO4 will precipitate 1 mole of الباريوم sulfate.
It's just going to be 0.003 as well.
بالظبط كده اهو. دي حاجه عظمه. 0.003 moles. ممتاز. خلاص كده I'm done with B in moles.
Okay.
طب determine the molar mass, المولر mass of the alkali metal sulfate and state its units.
Okay. So we know that the grams of that metal is 0.502, and we know the moles. So all we have to do
ممتاز.
is for the molar mass.
حلو.
So we do 0.502 over 0.003.
اوكي ماشي صح كده. يبقى المولر ماس هيساوي 0.502 over 0.003. it would be كام بقى؟
167.33.
100 كام؟
67
67.33.
33.
This is one of 2 marks.
Yeah. And so now we have to find the element.
لا you don't have to find the element yet. You will get it
Oh,
إن شاء الله. بس هو بيقول لك and state its units. What is the unit of the molar mass?
MR.
No, no, no. MR is not a unit. MR, this is a symbol representing المولر mass. But what it is يعني مثلا يعني I am 1.75 سنتيمتر. ده كده الهايت بتاع بيسموه ايه؟ I am 1.75 centimeters tall. فانا كده ايه؟
Oh, would it be
centimeters this is the measuring unit. What is the measuring unit of the molar mass?
moles per gram?
moles per gram ولا gram per moles؟
Grams per moles.
ايوه صح كده. يعني 167.33 جرام in each 1 mole. يبقى جرام per mole. ده كده the other mark.
Mm-hmm.
لو انت كتبتي 16.33 167.33 you will get 1.
Mm-hmm.
طيب deduce the identity of the alkali metal.
Okay, that would be, wait, I'm about to find it. Probably not.
ليه why not?
Wait, I can't find it. It doesn't exist.
It's not under the desk.
Under the desk.
ايوه under your
Like,
desk. There is no X under your desk.
oh wait, we have to divide it by 2 as well because we
Okay.
have X.
You have the whole mass of the X2SO4 صح؟
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
And you have الsulfur, you have الfour oxygens. So you will say that in 2X plus 1S plus 4O equals 167.33. الاس ب 32 يبقى 2x plus 32 plus 64 equals 176.33. So يبقى
Right.
2x would be 167.33 minus 32 minus
Oh, it's
64.
71.26 equals 2x. So you divide it by 2, and you get 35.63 equals x.
ايه الاكس هتبقى كام؟
35.63.
35.63. خدي بالك بقى لما هتيجي تبص على البريودك تيبل
It's not going to be exactly, so it's going to be chlorine.
because I'm simplifying.
Yeah.
ف what's nearest 35؟
Chlorine.
الايه؟
Chlorine.
كلورين.
Yeah.
يا بنتي look at the alkali metals يا بنتي. Look at group 1.
Oh,
ده هو بيقول لك deduce the identity of the alkali metal. راح تقولي له هالوجين.
potassium.
خلاص يبقى البوتاسيوم is the nearest. صح كده. البوتاسيوم is 39. That's يعني close enough يعني.
Mm-hmm.
طيب نمبر ايه؟
Um,
Write an equation for the precipitation reaction including stating symbols.
oh, so we
including state symbols يعني. يعني ايه including state symbols؟
like the powers.
لا 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 لا. including state symbols يعني this is an aqueous solution يبقى AQ.
Oh,
This is a precipitate يبقى this is a solid. اوكي. يعني including الفيزيكال state symbols يعني.
okay.
فهتقولي ايه بقى؟
Okay, so potassium, so it's gonna be K2.
حلو.
That is gonna be a solid.
واحدة واحدة بس. K2 ايه؟
Oh, K2SO4.
حلو.
Oh, صح. SO4.
بلس.
No, actually, never mind. It's gonna be a.
لا actually you are right.
Oh,
Don't
yes, solid.
don't change it. K2SO4 you are right. You remove the X and you put the K instead of the X. That's it.
Now I was thinking about the states.
The states. ما هو بيقول لك هنا an alkali metal sulfate is dissolved.
Oh, so it's an Aquarius.
Aquarius yes aqueous.
Aqueous.
ايوه. ها in excess
An excess
chloride
of
solution and he is giving you the barium chloride aqueous.
BaCl2 aqueous.
ممتاز.
And that equals
Mhm.
oops, wait. Oh, sorry, wait, I just left my dog. Okay. That equals 2KCl.
حلو قوي.
2KCl plus
plus
BaSO4.
BaSO4. طبعا BaSO4 ده هيبقى ايه؟
That is gonna be that is gonna be a solid.
صح كده. ده البريسيبيتد.
And 2K Cl is gonna be a liquid.
الليكويد.
No, wait. A gas.
A gas.
A
Why?
solid. A
Why?
solid. A solid. A
ولا
solid.
solid. لا لا لا. It's gonna be an
It's gonna be
aqueous.
Aquarius.
Why? Because there is so much water in the reaction يعني. خدي بالك. I've got ال K2SO4 dissolved in the water. الباريوم كلورين كلورايد dissolved in the water. خلاص. فالباريوم سلفيت when it precipitates it will precipitate in a solution. ال KCl اولا first of all where did the water go if I didn't write the aqueous يعني if I said KCl solid. طب where did the water go? I am reacting I am putting or mixing two solutions together. So I have
Right.
a great amount of water. This is first. Second of all, when I say alkali, this means substance that will dissolve in water. يعني any potassium, sodium, rubidium, cesium, lithium, group 1 في periodic table كله على بعضه كده all of its compounds are soluble in water. الالكاليز are soluble substance. ماشي.
ماشي.
You will deal with all of this information ان شاء الله لما نتكلم على الاسيدز and bases يعني بشكل in details يعني.
Okay.
understood. فدايما خدي بالك، دايما 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 when we are يعني writing down a precipitation reaction, I will always start with two aqueous solutions,
Hmm?
and I will always get an aqueous solution plus a solid solution plus a solid substance.
Hmm.
This is a precipitation reaction.
Okay.
تمام. طيب يعني هنشوف لو 13 كبيرة. اوكي اوكي.
كبيرة.
maybe next time بقى. شوفي if you are planning to take a Sunday tell me. if you're
Okay.
not برضو tell me عشان خاطر ايه يعني you have no school tomorrow صح؟
Yeah, I don't have school all of next week.
all of next week خلاص.
Yeah. Great.
so يعني if you're planning to take Sunday just tell me بس عشان ابقى عامل حسابي.
Okay.
ماشي؟ ماشي.
ماشي.
شكرا جزيلا.
All right, thank you. Bye.
نعم.